Hey y'all, oh my god, welcome back to my channel. Hi everybody. Oh, me doing that made Marco get excited. He's like, what's up? Yeah, we back on camera. How y'all doing? It's been a long time. I appreciate you guys being here, watching this video, and just kind of rocking with me over the last few months. Now, things have been wild and crazy for real, because of the fact that I have been doing so much when it comes to moving. Working from home is, as a lot of you know, it is a challenge, and as well as trying to do that, build a new home, or not build, but move in your stuff and get settled and whatnot. It's a lot on the mental. It's a lot on the mental. It's a lot on the body. And so I just want to say thank you again for even continuing to watch this and to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I definitely want to, to the world, say thank you to my friends and family that have been supporting me and guiding me and just being here both physically and spiritually and emotionally for me during this whole time, because trust and believe me, it is a very hard process, and having people in your life that are willing to help you out and to make sure that you're good is truly a blessing. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been a part of this, truly. So let's get into what this video is going to be about, baby, because there's so much when it comes to buying a home that it would not fit in a video, in one single video. Okay, it would not fit in 3. I don't know, but I personally wanted to just start with 10 things that I have learned with going through the new build process for one, and just going through the entire closing process as a home buyer in general. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So go ahead, get your pen and paper, get yourself something to eat, drink, snuggle up, get whatever you need so that we can go over some of these things. And like I said, this may not be like the final thing, like the final list that I talk about, because I'm sure as months go by, I'm gonna start finding other things that I want to share with you all when it comes to certain things. Also, I do plan on doing, of course, a house tour and just showing you guys a few things that I have already done so far. Also, if you wouldn't mind, I really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if this is your first time here. I would really appreciate it and won't disappoint you. And also be sure to follow my Instagram page for my house, because it is called Teri-Yae. And that way you can see some of my styling that I've done in that house, some decorating tips that I have, inspiration. So that way, if you're not watching the video, you can still see some of the things that are being done in the house. So be sure to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I got a little list here, so let's just go ahead and get started. So first things first, and now this is in reference to new builds. I really cannot speak on homes that have already been built and whatever, but this is my experience with doing the whole new build process. The first thing that I would like to point out is, so if you are at the post drywall stage, where you got your walls up, the house is actually starting to take shape on the inside, you can really see the rooms, how they look, things like that. And typically by that time, you have certain things in your house already. You have your flooring. You should at least have your flooring, and you should also see like how your countertops and just different things like that, because like I said, it's post drywall, meaning that the actual separators, walls, everything within the house is there. So now you have an actual visualization of what the structure of the house would look like. Okay, the biggest thing that I noticed is that during the post drywall walkthrough, rule number 1, if you are not getting an inspector for post drywall before closing, I didn't do that. Sometimes I go back and forth and think like maybe I should have, maybe my inspector would have noticed some things that I didn't and it could have been addressed. But hey, I leave that up to your discretion and your judgment with that. you know, it's really up to you when it comes to if you're going to get an inspector, you know, pre-closing. So the one thing that you have to pay attention to are the little things. If you are doing this by yourself, like I purchased it by myself, but I did have family members that were here. Be sure to bring people with you that are observant and have either been through a home buying process before or just, you know, notice things. There were a lot of little things that I noticed on the post drywall walkthrough before closing that they had to fix. One of the things being the paint, the staining for the flooring. As you're going through your steps, if you are getting like hardwood or anything like that, you want to make sure that they have completely cleaned up any sort of staining or that they haven't missed a spot, because the worst thing that you want to see is like uneven stain job. Like, no, you don't want to have to go back through and have to clean up paint or restain things after you done bought it. You've paid a lot of money and you don't want to have to do nothing else except move in. Okay, those sort of little things. The second thing is, and I will insert a clip here, are the coverings for different holes and pipes and stuff like that in your house. Now, I did not notice the one in the main floor bathroom that the little, you'll see, metal part was not sealed to the wall. Make sure that everything that's supposed to be sealed to the wall is sealed to the wall. During my walkthrough that I did on closing day, I noticed in my guest bathroom on the 3rd floor that the cover for like the actual pipe that the shower head comes out of, the metal piece that's supposed to kind of cover that hole there was not secured. So when you tapped it, it fell right down. So they had to seal that up. Make sure you are going through touching and pulling on things to make sure that they are secured to the wall. The second thing that I did not do, but I wish I would have done, checking the water pressure. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh, that is one of the irritants that I will talk about, is the water pressure. When you come through for your post drywall walkthrough or your walkthrough before closing, you better go through and turn on every faucet, every shower. I mean, every place in your home that water comes out of, you need to turn it on and let it run. I didn't do that. I did it for, you know, the kitchen, and I think I did it in one of the bathrooms. But I did not thoroughly go through and check to make sure that the water pressure was up to my standards and was a good water pressure when I was doing my walkthrough. I'm currently now having an issue with the water pressure on one of the sinks in my bathroom that I use the most. The water pressure is so much lower than the one that is right next to it. It's like a significant difference. That's how much, like, it's like, wow, you can clearly tell that these water pressures are different, as well as in the master bedroom shower. It's not as bad where it's just like, oh my God, it feels like it's just trickling out, but it could be a lot better. I didn't check that. Make sure you check your water pressure, okay? Okay. Make sure, and this also goes back to the fact that it may be advantageous to you to have an inspector come in again, because of the fact that there are certain little things that you may not have time to check, or you just not even maybe thinking of checking. And those things include outlets and light switches. Those things, you need to make sure that your place is properly wired, and that whenever you plug something up, you're gonna get, you know, electricity to it. You know, because those are things that once you get the keys in your hand, for this particular new build that I have, once I got the keys in my hand, I signed the paperwork, the builder was no longer responsible for a lot of things that were happening in the house, unless it was something literally that they couldn't like make me responsible for. It was their fault. You know what I'm saying? Everything else, little things like paint, or oh, I noticed how this is crooked, or why does this not shut the way it should, hey baby, you didn't notice that during the meetings that we had, so when we come back for our 10-month checkup, then you can address it and we may fix it then. Pay attention to that sort of stuff. Outlets, light switches, doors, windows. Make sure, and this is the one thing too, my mom, fortunately, when we were here, she went and tried to open up the windows that are here in the living room, and one of them wasn't opening. She was like, what's wrong with this window? Why is it not opening? So they had to go and do a little something to make the window to open, I mean. Make sure every window in your house is fixed or is functional, and make sure that you are looking for any sort of little cracks, any things that look off. Make sure you are writing those things down and letting them know, hey, why is this not working? Why does this look like this? This isn't functioning. Be sure to test every window, every door in your home. Example, my neighbor, he has in one of his bedrooms, the door for some reason it doesn't stay open. It kind of swings back and forth when you open it. It doesn't stay. And that was one thing that he did not notice when he was doing his walkthrough. He didn't think to, you know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing that when they come back for our 10-month checkup, that he's going to have them address. Test doors, test windows, test outlets. I know it's going to seem like a pain in the butt, but hey, you got to do it, especially if you're by yourself and you didn't have like another inspector come in. That's another reason too why it's, advantageous to you to bring friends or family or, an additional person to help test things out, because people can easily bring their cell phone with the, the cord or whatever, the charger block, to make sure, boom, if I plug up into any outlet in this house, it comes on. Because the worst thing that you want to do is have an electrical problem in your home before you move in. That's the worst, because then they have to trace it, track it, all that stuff. You don't want those problems. You don't. So be sure to check that. Oh, next thing, appliances. During the walkthrough that I had, I'm going to tell you guys just a quick little backstory. So I got an FHA loan to purchase my home. And with the FHA loan, they have their own inspector come out to check to make sure that certain things that were in my contract were there and up to their standards. I had several issues with the inspector process, not on the inspector themselves, but on the builder. There were items that were supposed to be in the home at the time that weren't there, i.e. the carpet. When the FHA inspector came out, they are looking for a complete home on the inside, meaning that the flooring needs to be where it says it's going to be. Everything that is written on the contract that is supposed to be in the house is supposed to be here when they get here. Appliances, flooring, things like that. Those things weren't here for a couple of my walkthroughs that the inspector had, and the builder had to. It was a lot of back and forth, and fortunately, when closing day came, everything was up to speed and ready to go, but it was definitely a headache. So during my post drywall, like pre-closing walkthrough that I had, the main thing that I went and did was check the appliances. Your appliances need to be fully functioning. When I say y'all need to come up in here and be turning and popping on lights like nobody's business, you need to do it for real. Turn on the oven, crank one of the eyes for the stove, turn on the microwave, look in the dishwasher. All those sorts of things, you need to make sure that they are functioning at that time, because if they're not, the builder is responsible for contacting whoever the company is. So if you have Whirlpool, LG, whatever, those sorts of people will be contacted by the builder to make sure that you get functioning equipment, point blank. Because if you wait and you don't test your things out, or you wait post post closing, then the responsibility falls on you to contact whoever the company is. Like if it's Whirlpool and your dishwasher isn't working, you don't call the builder and be like, hey, y'all gave me a messed up dishwasher. Actually, or, oh, the dishwasher door is not opening, something's wrong with it. You need to contact Whirlpool to help you out with that. Open, close. You may not obviously run the dishwasher, but you know, open and make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And make sure you bring your contract and that the items that you ordered are the exact items that is in the house. Do not let them try to pull a fast one on you by kind of swapping out things at the last minute, because I've heard that they do that. Not with me, but I heard that that can happen. So make sure you're paying attention to that sort of stuff. The next thing that I want to talk about again is the flooring. When I came in for my so on closing day, I came to the house about 2 hours before my actual closing time. So my closing time was like scheduled for 11:30, and I came to the home at 9 a.m. to meet with, the builder and just different people and whatnot. And that's when you do your final walkthrough and look to see if there's any little thing that they forgot or missed. Very, very important, because you are on closing day. That's game time, baby. So you have to really be Inspector Gadget, okay? Eyes on everything, zooming into the tiniest little thing, because you about to be paying a lot of money, okay? A lot of money. So it needs to be perfect. This is perfection that you are expecting on these days. So don't play no games. So anyways, on closing day, I was, going around and just looking at things, and I noticed how there was like a gap in my master bedroom between the baseboards and the actual carpet. And I could see like a tiny, like little pink, something, which is basically the filler that they use for the carpet or whatever. And I'm like, hey, why is there a gap here? What is this? Doesn't look good to me. And they told me what it was. I was relaxed about it, but I was like, okay, so I need to really make sure that anywhere else in the house, there are no gaps, especially on the wood, on the flooring that I got. I wanted to make sure that there were no weak spots. So go around, test the floor, make sure that the floor doesn't creak, or there's no, you feel like any weak spots in the floor. Because that goes back to them. There's something that they didn't quite seal off right, and you want to make sure things are sealed, tight, and perfect. Seriously. Okay. The next thing too that I want to point out, and this is not a tip or trick or anything, but this is just something to keep in mind and to ask. So with this new build, and I don't know if this is with all of them, I just know with the company that I went with, there were no curtains, blinds in the house, period, on no floor. And that was just maybe just like a little nitpicky thing for me, but I'm like, oh my God, they couldn't even throw up like the little cheap ones. And I know that some people do not like blinds, but I'm just like, dang, like this is a for real like naked open house. Like I had to put in blinds in, the areas that I wanted the most coverage in, and curtains in other areas. But I was like, whoa. So keep that in mind, and also in your budget too, that if you are a person that likes blinds, keep that in mind if you are, when you are shopping around for things, because, you may not get them in your house. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, so now that I've gone through, the pre-closing, whatever, closing day. This was, I think, the most stressful part of the process. And I think it's probably the most stressful part of the process for everybody that, has bought a home. Closing day is very, very stressful, to say the least. And fortunately for me, I had some good people around me that helped to ease it. But baby, let me tell you, you have to be careful, and you need to watch people, because people will try to pull fast ones on you when you're not paying attention. The one thing that I would have to say is that you truly do need to stay on top of your builder. Closer you get to closing day, like I would say about 3 to 4 weeks out, like you starting to get close, you need to be communicating with them at least once a week to hear how the process is going, to make sure that things are moving along the way they should. And obviously, keeping in contact with your lender and making sure that you have turned in all your paperwork on time, because when you delay or when you're slow with getting certain documentation that they need, that's pushing you further and further out from your closing. And that's pushing a lot of things, like you're delaying a lot of things that need to be expedited. So it's very important to get documentation and things like that geared up and ready to go when the lenders do ask for things and when they need it. It's very nice how things are digital. It's so easy to quickly upload things and there's a lot of e-doc, signing. So a lot of those sort of things have been made quite easy thanks to technology. But we also have to make sure that that when you are getting ready for this, that you have things ready to go immediately, or at a good time. Don't delay, don't drag your feet, because you want to get into your home quickly and smoothly. You don't want to have to be like, oh, okay, let me go find this, let me go find that. No, as soon as they tell you, give yourself a day or two to go ahead and get everything lined up and together so that you are prepared and ready to go. So in saying that, on my closing day, a few days before, not even a few days, what am I talking about? On closing day, I found out that there was some sort of payment for some HOA fees that were not calculated into my contract. And let me tell you, I found this on closing day, and apparently it was an amount of money that I needed to add in addition to what I had gotten from my cashier's check. Now, mind you, on the contract, when it says, okay, closing day is at this time, this is how much your down payment is, this is how much you need to bring, that number can fluctuate up until a certain point, and then it is locked in. Like, that is the number that we need from you to bring to closing to go ahead and wrap this whole process up. Nothing more, nothing less. This is the number. That's what I thought. That's what everyone around me had experienced. So this was new for a lot of people, my family and things that were there. Like, what? So bring a checkbook. Bring a checkbook. Bring a checkbook, because you never know what little sneaky stuff that pops up. Apparently, a lot of little things pop up at the last minute. This was just my experience with something that popped up at the last minute. Thankfully, I was able to provide whatever the amount was that they needed, but at the same time, it was a huge inconvenience. So stay on top of your builder, stay on top of your lender, stay on top of these people to make sure that the information that they're giving you is correct, and that you're not going to be, caught off guard by anything. Because again, it's a lot of money that they want from your pockets, okay? A lot. So you do not need to be stressed out and thinking that you done brought X amount of dollars and they like, oh, boom, but actually we need a little bit more on top. What? No, you already getting this. Be careful, pay attention, stay on their butts, okay? And bring a checkbook. Bring a checkbook, okay? I didn't have a checkbook. I'm sorry, I fell into that millennial thing, like, who uses a checkbook anymore? Like, that was me, okay? Never again. Guess what I got now? I got a checkbook now, okay? I got one, just in case something like this happens, So bring a checkbook if you heard nothing else, okay? Also, on closing, make sure that on closing day, okay, so after you have signed your documentation, you have handed over your money, you have signed on the dotted line with blood and the hair of your firstborn child, because it was a lot of paperwork. I took all my documentation, the keys and everything, and as soon as I got to the house, I made sure all the keys worked. I checked the mailbox. I checked all the keys that they gave me. and made sure that they all work, because again, that is something that has happened where keys don't work for certain things. And so definitely check all of your keys. All right, for real, check everything. And the final thing, the biggest thing that I learned within this process was to be happy and to be thankful and to give yourself a pat on the back, because this is no small feat. This is a huge accomplishment. This is a huge step. No matter if you are 22 years old or 63 years old, buying your first home or making a purchase of this magnitude, you did it. Like, you should be so incredibly proud of yourself that nothing should disturb that. Even the little things with like, oh, we have a fee for this, we haven't. No. Take that for what it is and move past it, but thank yourself. Be calm. At the end of all of this, this is your house. Like, look what you did. Like, you have made a decision to invest in yourself, into your family. Like, you are creating something at that point. So you should be very, very happy, proud, and thankful of that moment. And my biggest thing too within this process, especially on closing, is to stay relaxed and calm. It is so easy to get stressed out over this. There was so much paperwork. There was so many documents that they needed from me. There were so many questions that I had to answer from stuff I did when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of things. So keep that in mind as you're going through the process, that they're going to go deep into your credit history, because they really want to make sure that you will be responsible and pay your bills. You know, this is going to be one of the biggest bills that you have in your life, is a mortgage, and it's very important. So they're going to dig deep, going to dig wide. So just be prepared for that. Don't freak out, because it happens to everybody. So no worries about that. It's just part of the process. But yeah, those are the things that I really wanted to illustrate to you guys and just bring to light, because there's so many stories, but at the same time, it's a lot. But those are the main things that I wanted to tell y'all, especially if you're going through this process. You know, communicate with your builder. Make sure that they are delivering what you said that you want and that you've paid for. When you're coming through your walkthrough, look at everything. Open doors, cabinets, drawers, turn on lights, test plugs, do all of that. Run your hands across the countertops if you have granite or another natural stone, to make sure there are no like little fine nicks or anything like that, to make sure it is smooth. Make sure that your paint is good. There's no missed spots. Make sure your windows are functioning, no cracks. Staining on the floor, make sure it is actually on the floor and not on the wall or anywhere else that it shouldn't be. Okay, make sure that your carpet feels good. Make sure it's the right carpet that you ordered. You know, make sure that you are getting what you paid for, no more and no less. Get what you asked for, what you wanted, no more, no less. These people are here to work for you. You are paying them. They're not paying you. Okay, so make sure that you are getting everything that you have agreed to pay for, because baby, you paying for it, so you better get what you want. Point blank. And smile. Like, this process is stressful. Take some time to smile. Go enjoy. Be with your friends. Be with your family. Get some wine. Whatever else. Just do things that make yourself feel good, because at the end of the day, this is an accomplishment, and you should pat yourself on the back and enjoy your time. Enjoy your home, and just, you know, be happy. You know, just enjoy your process, and it's like, it's a great time, and it's a joy. So please take the time to really sit with it and enjoy it. And yeah, those are my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, like I said, I will be making more videos about tips and things throughout my time here, and sharing it with you all, doing a little bit of vlogs. Y'all can kind of see what I do day to day, and just different little things like that. And again, be sure to subscribe to my channel and like the videos so that you don't miss any of the uploads. And also make sure to follow Teri-Yae on Instagram, so you can kind of get a behind the scenes look at how I'm designing things, little areas that I've decorated already. You can kind of get an idea of what the vibe is in Chateau Teri-Yae. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back soon, okay? Peace and love and hugs.